Yo, I put your face on the screen too early there a minute ago. But hey, what's going on? I'm so mean.
Allegedly.
There you go.
How are you?
Not too bad. It's been
Good.
been too long, man. I haven't even been able
Yeah.
to watch any of your shows. That's the thing. I've been so busy that I feel like I haven't even seen you. Just I've seen a couple of your videos, like went over and watched the short ones or something. But I just
Yeah,
haven't
I've
had
been
time.
silly lately. Ignore me.
Well, probably don't want to ignore you. But hey, we're going to be doing the part 3 today.
Yes.
But it's really going to be like part 1 of part 3 of Crystal Rogers.
Yes. So it's part 3-1 or something.
Yeah.
1 in parentheses.
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy times out there on the internet, the YouTube land.
Goodness gracious, yeah. I'm happy to get back to a crime case, really.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
and especially it being this crime case, I'm very excited about this one. Not in an excitement way, but to get this story out more. It's
Right.
one that I'm very invested in, and you've covered it. So,
Yeah, unfortunately, if we could have just put the name Summer in the title, we'd probably have another 300 people. But I see right now it's kind of it's not one. It's a lower number because you were just saying that there's there's live streams.
unfortunately.
But guess what? It doesn't matter. We're going to cover this one the right way, and we're going to do it right now. All right. So
Let's
here we
go.
go. So Chasing put together a slideshow. She likes to do these slideshows, and they're pretty useful and effective. So,
They keep me balanced, and then I have something to refer back to as well.
yeah, and then I think we might even go through. We actually might play the first interview with Brooks Houck. I think that might be near the end. Is that we're gonna get to that point though in this one, right?
We should be able to get to that point. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so it's Crystal Rogers. It's part of the Bardstown series, but I mean she's sort of the center point, it seems like, of the whole Bardstown mystery. I mean, even though
Absolutely.
you have the other ones, but she's the one that sort of really brought it as a sort of this larger unknown of all these different murders in this small little town that haven't been solved.
And I still don't think it has nearly enough coverage,
Hey, can you do something?
even though it's the biggest one.
You have some weird light that's right on your nose that makes it look like you have this massive. I don't know if you.
Oh, it's my blinds, Gray. Ay, ay, ay.
Well, I don't know. It was weird. It was like right on your nose. Yeah.
Let's see if this is any better. Oh, good Lord. You're going to get me in an accident. Nope, that's not better. I don't know where it's coming from exactly.
I
Maybe
guess that's a.
way over there? No.
Well, you must have blinds where the sun's coming through.
Well, I do, but
Well, just don't worry about it. Now, just make sure you move your head around a little bit.
yeah, I'll try to get away from it if I can, but
All right. So
now
here we go.
dark. It's for dramatic effect. Okay. So we're going to get into the story of Crystal. Crystal was a mom, or is a mom. We don't know that Crystal is deceased. That seems to be the belief overall, but she was a daughter, a friend, and a sister, and her story is very important. So we never ask you guys to share and do all of that, but we really would appreciate, even if you take screenshots, notes, something to share it out on your Twitter, your Facebook, wherever you can on your social media.
Yeah, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Become a member. I always see there's so many people with their names that are grayed out.
Yes, become a member.
Yeah, so I actually think I'm 100% convinced that she's been murdered. I mean, even though there's there's no body. I mean, she wouldn't have left all of her kids and all that stuff.
No, I don't believe so.
So I mean, I think at this point, you're right. Like, technically, we can't really say, but at the same time,
Yeah.
I will say that she's not alive anymore. Okay, and I think even all the family knows that. Everybody knows that, and Brooks knows that, and so does Nick.
Brooks and Nick.
Yeah, here we go.
Okay, so the way that this all begins is July 3rd of 2015. Crystal was last seen by her boyfriend at the time, Brooks Houck, around 12:20 a.m. Earlier in that day, Crystal was seen at a Walmart around 5 p.m. checking out, and at 7 p.m., Brooks claims that they went to his family farm. It's about 300 acres on Paschal Ballard Lane to feed cows. They had their 2.5-year-old son with them at this time, and it was raining that night. This was supposed to be a date night for the two. They had gotten sitters for the other children, but not for their youngest child. That child was theirs together. The other children did not belong to Brooks. So it seems very odd for a date night, but in any case, they left the farm just before midnight after doing whatever it was that they were supposed to be doing. And I think this right here is critical. In my opinion, Crystal never left that farm, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think the car was. Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. But let me try to get Google Earth up on here. I had my computer rebooted overnight. Don't you love that when it doesn't even ask you and it just you show?
It's always fun.
Yeah, so I always have Google Earth open, but I didn't have it open just now because that was one of the.
While
things.
you do that, I'm going to try and fix the other blinds here. They're making me a little mess now. There you go. That should have fixed it, I think. And it didn't. Oh, well, a little. There you go. Great.
That's not bad.
Better.
Not great either. Yeah.
Better. I don't have lines all over my face, so that's great. Yeah, I do not think that Crystal would have left her children either. I'm reading that in the chat. I don't believe she would have.
Man, I have so many. That was the farm. I mean, I have like 1,000 different.
Farm is absolutely huge.
Yeah, it's weird because now I don't remember exactly where it was in relation to the. Let's see. I do have it on the map somewhere. But
The Houck family farm?
Yeah, maybe it's this one. Does that look right?
No, that's where Tom was.
Oh, that's right. That's where he was shot. I got the. I don't know. I don't know where it on my map. I know I have it on here. Maybe that's it.
Farm on the red. Your red pin up there on the top. It looks like it says farm, maybe?
Yeah, this is a place. Maybe that was it right there. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, is that the right road?
Yeah, see
Paschal,
that.
Ballard.
See that? How you can just tell by looking at it, the structure.
Yeah. There you go.
So that's. I guess they own this whole area here. But let me just move this over here, just so it's kind of in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got that, and then we'll get back to here, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, so they went on date night with their child. With
Eli, the youngest child that they had, the only one that they had together. He was 2.5.
It was raining, and even this is supposed to be. So,
and people thought it was odd that they would go to the farm, from 7 p.m., till midnight to feed cows in the rain. I'm unsure of how many cows they may have had or how long this would have taken. But people, as I was been reading the different groups, and there's a lot of people who are following this case, people close to her just thought it was a little off that she would have her son out in the rain, that late in the evening. But
when it says sitters, what does it mean? There was like a multiple people, babysitters, or just in general?
I don't know how many babysitters they had, but they, I believe they got a sitter to take care of the children.
So that's actually probably verified, So what logical reason, let's think of like a nefarious reason, like you would have, You would want the other two children that were, or however many children. I think it was how many children?
There were four.
Yeah, so
four
she
other
had,
children.
yeah, so she had. They got a sitter for her other biological children. So and then he takes. So that means
He
now
kept his child with him,
Right,
and
so,
I think that's the reason he did it.
Yeah, so he has his child with him, and she's gone, and now he has her. He probably thought he might not be able to get her.
Him,
Yeah,
Eli.
I mean, wouldn't be able to get the younger child had, or the one that they had together.
Right.
Had she just been reported missing, and there was a babysitter, and there'd probably be some weirdness going on, but he already had control. That's weird. It's kind of a. So I don't even know if that ever. But obviously the babysitter thing was proven. He wouldn't just throw that out there. I mean, that wouldn't be out there. So that means it was completely premeditated. Then.
I believe that it was premeditated.
At that point, yeah.
I think he knew exactly what he was going to do.
Yeah, and it sounds like it was too, because there was other issues going on, and he probably didn't want to have to deal with that. There you go.
Okay, so after, the police are looking into all of this, at midnight, a man named Steve Lawson calls Brooks. The call was 13 seconds. Brooks claimed that Steve needed a phone number on a rental property from Crystal. Crystal allegedly was sitting beside him in his vehicle. He said he would have her call him back. Now, Steve is somebody who worked for Brooks, right? Crystal handled a lot of the properties and the rental properties that Brooks had, which were numerous. So a 13-second call comes in at midnight about a rental property. Crystal is sitting beside you. She can give you the information, but you don't hand her the phone. That further leads me to believe that Crystal never left that farm. The couple and the child according to Brooks, arrived back at their home at 12:20 a.m. Brooks says he went straight to bed, but Crystal stayed up playing games on her phone, and Eli was, quote, wide open. So I guess he's meaning, he was up and running around and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So he wants to make it.
Which also sounded odd.
So that means everything probably happened sort of. It could have happened even right before that, but he's putting 12:20 means something. Like, why would he even say 12:20? Who the hell's looking at the clock anyways? Like, you're just going to sleep.
Yeah.
And then he makes it sound like she's still awake, because of course she's got to be leaving on her own. But doesn't take the kid or anything, just takes off. Yeah.
This guy. So the next day, Brooks gets up between 6 and 7 a.m. He claimed that Eli is in bed beside him and Crystal is not at home. Now, in any relationship, I think if you went to bed and your significant other was with your 2.5-year-old child who probably cannot fend for themselves, and you wake up and your significant other is gone and the child is in bed with you, the first thing you would do is call them, right? Is that what you would do, Gray?
No, I would go to a 4th of July party.
Oh, well, you are much like Brooks then, because that's exactly what he did. He sees she's not there. He gets himself dressed. He gets the baby dressed. He leaves home to go to a 4th of July gathering, but he leaves before the fireworks go off. So was it an important thing that you were going to do? Were you bringing your son to an outing, a family gathering to see all the pretty fireworks, but then you left before the fireworks even began?
Yeah, well, what's interesting...
And during all this time,
yeah,
is anybody in the family asking him, hey, where's Crystal?
Well,
here's the thing,
too. Here's the thing is, on the 4th of July in the evening, most people are doing something somewhere with a bunch of people, and that's a good time. Like, for example, in the McStay case, it was during the Super Bowl where a body was buried. I mean, who the hell's driving? Nobody's even on the road when there's a Super Bowl. I mean, everybody's watching the game, right? So in this case, it's 4th of July in the evening. Most people are getting ready to, either watch television firework displays or be somewhere where it's dark outside together with a bunch of people, and you could be silently off somewhere doing something.
Right.
So he did he leave the party with his child too?
Yes, he had his child still with him. Now, we're on the next day, July 5th, 2015. Sherry Ballard, which is Crystal's mother, sees Brooks and speaks to him about where Crystal could be. Now, how does Sherry know that Crystal's not around? Because I left this part out, but I shouldn't have. Crystal's oldest child had been calling Sherry and saying, or texting her saying, do you know where my mom is? And so Sherry began to text Crystal trying to find out where she was. This is on July 4th, I believe. And, she thought, well, maybe she's out with Brooks. Maybe she went to a cookout. She might have lost track of time or something. But now the next day comes and her daughter is still looking for her at this time. So Sherry's worried and she sees Brooks. She asks him, do you know where Crystal might be? When she looked in the back seat of his car, she just felt sick because she knew for a fact Crystal would not leave Eli on his own. And that if Brooks had that baby in the car with him, something was really wrong. So she looks and she sees the baby in the back of the car, and now she's upset. So she tells Brooks, listen, I'm going to go to the police station and I'm going to report her missing. And Brooks' response to that is, yeah, that's what you should do. And just drives away. So now it's been a day and 2 days. I mean, you're on July 5th. I'm not sure exactly what time this happened. All of July 4th, she's not there. And July 3rd, you last seen her at 12:20 a.m.
I think something
filing report.
July 3rd, something happened to her. July 3rd in the late evening, and then she was somewhere, and then maybe July 4th is when she was put somewhere else in a sort of a final place. Because why
Perhaps.
would he?
Maybe that's why he left early.
Yeah, maybe that's why he left the. I think it was just kind of like, hey, we need to do. Brooks and Nick got together and were like, hey, we need to cover. Because Nick knows what to do. He's a police officer. He knows how to cover things up. That's the part that really sucks. Because Brooks is as dumb as a box of rocks. I mean, he's really a absolute moron of a person. So if you're listening, you are a moron. Okay. So the thing is Nick isn't as dumb. He's cunning, and he's a police officer, and so he needed Nick to help him this whole time. I think
Brooks is a great actor. The way he was talking and his interrogation, and just trying to be this really good guy that he was good enough to take care of all the kids while the women were doing the partying. And I'm just thinking to myself, oh my gosh, you are so guilty. You're so guilty, and nothing has happened with this guy. Oh my goodness. So
I think they did. Nick would know exactly what to do, and as long as there's no physical evidence that they could find, you can't. It's hard to make that case, even though it's almost if you put it in front of a jury with all the circumstantial information, it would be a hung jury at minimum. Okay.
We have Barry Morphew though. There's still no body.
Right. Yeah. No. There's cases like that. You have to have really strong circumstantial evidence that if a jury saw it, there's no out. Like you put together the chain, there's no out. I think if you put this in front of a jury, and I'm sure there's way more circumstantial evidence that we're not aware of.
Absolutely.
I bet you it would be a hung jury. I think it would actually, but they can't risk it because if it's an acquittal, then that's it, right? You're done. You're done with it. So
very frustrating.
Yeah, it's almost like sometimes you wonder if they could start a trial, and then, see how it's going, and then drop the charges right before if you don't feel good about it, and then boom, you can do it again. I think. I don't know if that's how it works, but I think so. Anyways, all I know this one's bothered me for a long time too.
Oh my goodness, it really has. I've been caught up in it now about a year. It's so frustrating. So her vehicle was located on July 5th. Her family, I mean, if something ever happened to me, I would want my family to behave like Crystal's family behaved, because they were on top of it so quickly. And a lot of, people just take the cops' advice. So, well, she's an adult. She might have done this. She may have done that. But they knew something wasn't right. So authorities find Crystal's maroon 2007 four-door Chevy abandoned with a flat tire near mile marker 14 on the Bluegrass Parkway. You guys might remember the Bluegrass Parkway from the first part of Bardstown that we did with Officer Jason Ellis. The keys were still in the ignition, and her personal belongings were inside and around the car.
Like
no trace of Crystal was found. And her family said, this is extremely unlike her, and they are very worried. With all the pressure that her family was applying, I'm just so sad that something wasn't done immediately, tear up that farm ASAP that day. But I mean, I understand that there's procedures and laws, so they couldn't really do that. But
I think that was an error. I think this part here is an error tactically by, I'll just say it, the Houcks here, because they make it that what they're doing in this scenario is, okay, first of all, they made it seem like she left in the middle of the night. That's what he wanted to look like. Like, oh, wow, I woke up in the morning, and you're going to tell me that somehow she randomly got a flat tire and then a serial killer just happened to be driving by at that moment and abducted her, right? Because that's what the scenario like that would be. A flat tire, abduction, gone. She didn't leave on her own now. You've already established that she didn't leave on her own. She had a flat tire, and that's why her car was pulled over.
Right.
You see? So I think it was an error. They should have done something where they dumped the car in a river or lake where you'd never find it again, and you'd never know where the car was or anything. But they probably were like, oh, I got to get back. So they just, that part was sort of rushed in there. Wasn't that?
I agree.
Let me see if there's I do have the
Gaslin may be able to tell you guys more about the children and the sitter and all of that. Sorry, somebody was asking a question. I don't know if the oldest child was the sitter or if they were with a sitter, but Brooks. So while Gray is looking for this, I just want to give you a little bit of insight on who Brooks was, okay? When it came to Crystal's other children. Oh, Lord, to even say it. There were 5 kids total. 1 was his with Crystal's. He would not spend his own money on groceries for those other 4 kids. That had to be handled separately.
That's right. It was split up. Remember?
Not by Brooks.
Oh, God, yeah. Jeez.
Yeah, he was very... He was not a nice
Wouldn't you
person.
love to go on a date with Brooks? It'd be like one of those things. Well, listen, I only got a cheeseburger, but you bought a steak. So can you pay... Oh, look at it. If you can get the 20 and I'll pay 10. What a loser. What a loser.
Yeah, so he could have cared less if anybody was going to pick up Crystal's children. It was not, he had his son with him, and that was that on that. I don't think he had a bit of concern for any of Crystal's children.
Yeah, so not the Stepfather of the Year award going there.
No.
What a God, I have so many other words.
Oh, he makes me grind my teeth.
I actually bought a mouth plate thing to, guard it from this exact thing. All right. Oh, well, there you go. Is that what we're going to do now? Go to this? Or
Brooks is interviewed on July 8th, yeah.
Okay, but it's a longer one, right? I mean,
it is a longer one. That's why I, in the steps of things, this is the interview. So this is critical for everybody to see. I mean, this is important.
Well, this is, I mean, I don't know if we can.
How long is this?
I mean, it's
exactly?
it's like an hour and 44 minutes. It's long. I mean.
So maybe we'll do an hour of it, and then we'll start the next show on Sunday.
Okay.
With this,
Yeah. Okay.
the 44-minute mark. So we'll play it for another an hour. Are you good with that?
Yeah. Maybe. Well,
Right.
we could maybe. What's hour and 44? How about we'll get to the halfway? Because I mean, we might want to say something at certain points.
Sure. Yeah. No, that works.
All right. We'll.
I've listened to this so many times now. I could
Yeah.
probably just say it word for word. But
It's got some buzzing sound in there.
He's
So.
not answering his phone yet, so he must.
Is that only coming out of one side there?
That's all right.
I don't hear it at all.
Take a minute here and read through your statement. If that's all
Oh,
right.
you don't hear that?
no. And I'm going to mute myself so you're not hearing me. You could be hearing my.
Do you guys not hear that at all out there?
Is it buzzing for you guys?
Oh, well, I'm wondering if it was only coming out of my right ear. Let me open it up in a different program here.
I don't hear it. Oh, Jamie here said, I don't hear it at all. No.
Yeah.
Weird.
Do you have a mono that only comes out of one ear?
No, it's coming on both of my speakers here for me.
Okay, it's only one side, so I think that's what your problem. You might have a mono that splits it out or something.
Okay. Open it in a different.
I'm going to do it in Adobe Premiere, and then I can fix it.
Okay.
I had a big...
You did? That's
Well,
so weird.
it's part of the audio. Well, it's just a little bit of a
You might
buzz
answer.
sound. But let me get this fixed.
Oh my gosh, I want to jump through the screen and.
All right, let me just... Yeah, he just acts so calm. And then
Oh my Lord, help me. He is one of the most triggering people that I've listened to in any case because of his whole demeanor. He really makes you want to smack the crap out of him. I know that's not a very professional thing to say, but I want to smack this person. And you guys will see when you listen to his interview.
Yeah. So now it's got oh yeah, it's only coming out of the one side. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
See, it would have the wave at the top too, but it doesn't. So I think it's that one. Yeah, there we go. So now it's on the top.
Here we go.
And I guess we'll have to use...
I'm going to mute so that my commentary isn't constant on him because it would be and it would ruin this whole video.
That's tiny. Hold on a second. That's right. This thing was recorded a while ago. It's not really... They did it in like 320. There. Okay. Can you hear it now?
I just called, try to get over to him before he comes here. He's not answering his phone yet, so he must still be in the middle of it.
Oh, that's all right.
All right, I'm gonna take a minute here and read through your statement, if that's all right.
Yes.
Get an idea. You might have answered some of my questions already, so.
But I did, I was trying to cover as much as I could. If my writing's not real legible, you just ask me and I can clarify it real quick for you.
Right quick.
Okay. Yeah. 4 o'clock, Bluegrass Center.
And I don't know these, I put approximately on I just put 4.
Yeah, that's nobody. I don't expect you to know exactly.
Yeah, no, there's no way for me to.
Yeah. Is this Friday? You working on the new construction on Friday?
Yeah, and I didn't put that word, but I put all that right there. The further you go, the more clarified I get. I broke it down into segments.
Oh, these are the people whose house you were working on?
Yeah, all these right here are people that I'm overseeing, that I'm speaking or talking to. We'll just look at my phone to get my exact time. I got my phone in there, and that way you can build a timeline of all this stuff that I do this every day. So me looking back, I have know what time it is. And
Right.
There's no way for me to remember that. I mean, you'll see the more that you get to looking through there, you'll see how much I've got in my head to try to keep up with.
God, he's a genius.
all these are guys that are working for me that help me, every one of them.
Okay.
And then these right here, I skipped a line to break that and put locations, and then I did it in subdivision, so y'all know where my vehicle, y'all know where I'm at, my phone and everything.
Nobody's
Those are
asking
the
him any
numerical
questions.
address.
I mean, it's weird that he was so organized with his perfect little, hey, this is where I was here, 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 and there.
Street
Yeah, I
address.
said he doesn't pay
and
attention
this
to
is the type of
time,
work
but he
that
knew
I've got going on
12:20,
past
didn't
that
he?
hyphen
Yeah.
mark.
Wait, what was it? Say that again? He knew what? Oh.
Sorry, he said he doesn't pay attention to time, but he knew it was 12:20 and
Yeah.
all of this. And you know, the man's just looking at the papers, and he has to keep talking. He keeps talking. Oh my Lord,
Yeah,
God!
that's what-
I'm
well,
gonna
that's what
stay
he-
on mute, Gray.
Well, that's what he's doing. He just wants to talk. They're like, yeah, just kind of keep
Yeah,
blabbing
talk the
away.
guy into believing something already.
Yeah,
and nothing's
and-
even happening yet.
And not allowing him to formulate ideas. He just keep bombarding
Absolutely.
and bombarding.
I bet that's how he talks to everybody too.
Yeah, he's like a used car salesman.
Oh Lord, good.
Those are the type of work I've got going on at each construction site. Every one of them's a separate job.
Thanks. Vid inquiries.
And then this right here is for the whole subdivision. Keep the
And Shuby
Woodlawn
Mom
Springs homeowner subdivision, the president, and all the members,
Scooby
the
and-
committee and stuff. All I want to keep the subdivision looking nice, trash and debris and all that kind of stuff. The metal grates in the road, the curb and gutter, and all that. And this is just kind of like a daily thing. I've got to go through this every day to keep everybody rolling and everybody happy.
God, he's a great guy. God.
And this switches subdivisions. You see I put copper fields up here, and then these are the number of houses I got going out there. And I've got different subs in different spots.
Sorry, that thing will go off pretty constantly.
That's fine. That's nice.
I've got people all over the county too.
All right.
Hell, this was even longer than an hour and 44 because he took parts out.
Nobody else will write on that though, correct?
No, and I'm gonna make you a copy to show you.
I want to be sure that nobody else, messes with none of my stuff.
Right, right. No, you're gonna get a copy of it so that you can look at mine and look at yours and say they're the exact same thing.
All right.
In fact, I'll do that right now. I'm gonna do it take a couple pages at a time, run that up there. These recycled tablets ain't the best. In just a second, I'll bring it right back.
Do you happen to know what day this was? Like, was this like right away or
The 8th.
the 8th? Okay.
It should be on there. Yeah, I believe it was the 8th.
Yeah, I zoomed in. I can't see it.
That's right. I can double check, but I believe it's the 8th.
So they already kind of suspect something, but it's weird how they just act kind of. I might be able to fast forward. Okay, there might be times where I
Take a
can.
minute, go through those page by page and compare them just to make sure that everything's good to go on.
Wow, look at that guy. He can read 2 pages at a time. He's a fucking.
Honest to God, what is he even doing? Anyone? What is he doing?
Maybe he's
Is he
verifying
reading
it that there's
pages
a
at once?
copy or I don't know what he's doing.
Looks good to me, sir.
Verifying a
Take the
copy.
original, if you'll keep the copy, and
Yeah, that's
we'll
what he
look
was
at the
doing.
copy. All right, put this in the file. So we're obviously we're hearing tons and tons of rumors, right?
All right.
And I know Bardstown is the rumor mill of the world, but in a case like this, should it turn into a homicide investigation, any question that I didn't ask doesn't get asked. Does that make sense?
I don't understand what you're saying. But
Well, if I don't ask you, then somebody's going to ask me why I didn't ask you later. You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So when I ask you a question, it's not to be offensive. It's to get the question cleared up so that we can move on to another.
I understand. Yeah, I help however I can.
So one of the rumors that we're hearing is that you all had gotten notice from the IRS that you were being investigated for tax evasion. Is that correct or incorrect?
No, sir.
Not correct. Okay. And again, these are all rumors that people are calling in about.
That's
so.
fine. And who?
Yeah, see, the thing is right there that he should have. I mean, when you ask a question and you see that the guy's about to say something again, you don't keep. If I was this guy, you gotta let Brooks keep saying something. As soon as you see they're about to say something, don't say anything. I mean, I do. I mean, I think that's a good way to be as an interviewer too. Or if the person you're interviewing is talking, don't go on a long spiel with them, right?
Yeah, let him just dig.
Yeah.
Where you can get a legitimate source, also about verifying everything. Right across the street here, up here at Gilbert Brown Company CPAs does my taxes. He has for several years. If I need to sign a form to release all his documentation on me for that, you're all more than welcome to it. And that's the easiest way for me.
These are
That's
just
fine.
rumors.
Ask whatever you got to ask.
Spelling. Had you and Crystal ever talked about breaking up?
I mean, obviously we have fought just like any other
Sure.
any other couple, but in the last several years, I mean it's came up, but we've always found ourselves together moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
So that it's mentioned, but it's never happened, and we've always found ourselves together moving forward.
Okay. I know she didn't work out of the home currently.
Didn't that seem like a rehearsed thing to say? We've always found ourselves. He said it 2 or 3 times. Like no human says. I would never word anything like that. Nobody would word it.
It was a really simple question.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked about breaking up? And he gives him a whole paragraph, which he continues to do throughout this entire interview.
We find ourselves moving forward together. He specifically would never talk like that. Okay, I can tell you that. He'd be like, "Oh, you."
But had she worked out of the home recently? Had she had a job outside of taking care of the rental properties?
Well, she took care of 2 young children, so she did some babysitting there at the house for some extra money. One little boy was about Eli's size, and the other was, I don't know how old, but he was a little bit older. And I don't know how long, if it was 8 months or a year, but she had worked at the store up the road from our house for I don't want to say anything discriminatory. I don't want to say if they're not Americans, but they're
Indians.
All right, yeah. I don't want to say nothing.
Convenience store.
Yeah, convenience store. She worked for some folks up there. I do not know that. I think it might be Sandy or Sandeep or something like that, but I don't know. She worked up there at that gas station for quite some time, but that's been quite some time ago.
Was that before or after Eli was born?
I think she started there before he was born, and she did work some there after he was born. She worked for a pretty good period of time there, but it's been quite some time back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he's 2.5. So did you think
he's a little bit over than 2.5?
Yeah.
He'll be 3 in October.
Almost 3. Yeah.
All right.
So you think it was a year ago or better since she worked there?
Probably approximately. I don't know. I would say give or take a 6-month window there. Something like that would probably be pretty accurate. But I do not know the answer to that. I do not know. I just know that it's been a period of time.
Was it since you've lived together, have you all always lived on Glenview?
That's the only house since Eli has been born. We brought him home from the hospital. We lived there.
Okay.
Yes. That's the only residence.
You all were living there when she was working at the, and when she stopped working at the.
When she stopped working there. There was, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 other girls that worked up there with her. I don't know their names. They didn't have a large amount of employees, just a few.
I bet he doesn't even know the ages of the other 4 children.
No.
But he was just, my God, give him all. Get those other 3 months in there. I guess he should have said he's 2.75.
Right.
It's like ridiculous.
And then did he ask you anything about the people who worked up there? No. No, he didn't.
Yeah, he's just trying to. He what he's watching is he's watching him look at documents, and then he tries to keep throwing stuff at him so that he's not really being able to focus in on what he's reading. I think, anyways. It's just a lot of absolutely unimportant crap.
When you said you all had talk about splitting up, had that been more recently, or was that before Eli was born, or had that been?
I don't remember the exact dates, but if you'll recall back in a couple of days ago when we had talked, whenever usually that had came up, she had always went to like Sabrina's house, or she went out with Brooke or to her parents for a short period of time, a day and a half, and after she cooled off, and then we had a chance to talk a little bit, we always found ourselves back together. But it has been at times a stressed relationship. I'm not here telling you anything other than that. That is the truth, and that's accurate. That has been discussed, but we've.
So what he just said there was complete fabrication. Two, that they would argue, and Crystal would leave the house for day and a half or something, and go to this person's house or over there or over here. None of that was true. The most time her friend said she ever left and came to her house was like a couple of hours, and then she would go back home. So he's trying to put it in this man's head. The Crystal, she just takes off.
Yeah, so it's not out of the realm that she just took off, right? That's what he's trying to say. It's not out of the realm, so even though they're probably going to go check later and find that that's not really accurate. I think that was in a podcast or something. I don't remember how that was how many years ago? This is like 5 years now, and I don't know.
Well, we're going on, it was 2015, so 6 years, and
7.
Be precise. Brooks would want you to know the months. So it's
crazy. Yeah, so 7 years. I mean, it's just
almost.
Always found ourselves together. We loved each other very much, and that right there is the bottom end of it.
Yeah, there it is.
Well, the reason I ask is because there are some people that she's associated with that are telling us that she had made some tentative plans to leave, like looking at an apartment at that store above the apartment above the store. I'm just trying to figure out if that was something that was ancient history or if that was something that was more recent.
Well, that's news to me. I don't know anything about that.
So when you all, let's say the last time you all had discussed splitting up, she didn't discuss any specifics with you about moving to an apartment or anything like that? Just that you all were having some issues and you resolved it?
Say all that again.
Yeah.
Break your question. Break them down.
The last time that you all had that type of a disagreement, okay? The last time that there was the possibility that you might split up, did she specifically talk to you about moving out somewhere?
No, not anything that I. She's never had an isolated point saying, "Hey, I'm moving here, moving there." I don't recall anything like that.
Okay,
no, sir.
That was my question.
All right.
Just if she had.
Well, sometimes I know that you all do this for a living. Sometimes I feel like when you ask me a question, you put so many things, and I'm thinking we need to dissect it a little bit so I can answer each.
No, what you want to do is you want to be able to nuance out of it. Is what you want to be able to do.
Yeah, it was not a complex question. It was not a compound question. It was, when you guys argued, were you aware that you wanted to move into an apartment? Can you repeat that again and break it down into sections for me?
Yeah, but he said he wants to, I want to be able to break it down. Yeah, that's what he wants to be able to do himself. But the thing is this guy, right, he's been doing that the whole time. Brooks has been just feeding a bunch of crap that he can't break down. So it's almost like he's projecting a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Part specifically rather than put so, and I'm not, please don't upset at me for saying that to you. Put so much stuff in one. I want to break it down in a simplified, direct question rather than put so much information into one question. Try to answer one and have a bunch of parts in one
No, that's fine. If
All
you
right.
need me to, that's fine. What you did right there is just fine.
All right, yeah, I
If
just know
you
what
need
you
me
did.
to
I
ask
just
you a
said
different-
me
ask it a different way, or ask.
because I
that's
want
fine.
you helping me.
No, that's
All
fine.
right, that's all right.
That's fine. That's no problem at all. All right. Let's see.
Yeah, everything has a nuance because he's
We
wondering.
kind of already established the Kylie thing, but just so I'm clear on it.
Is your hair color brown? He'd probably say, well, it depends. You know, like sometimes in the summer when it hitting it, so it gets a little lighter. So I wouldn't call it quite brown. It'd probably be a little off-white. And then in the wintertime, yes, it does get a little bit darker, and it tends to, you know, God, my God, this guy.
All right.
You got home at somewhere between 5 and 5:30, probably closer to 5, right?
Yes, sir.
And Kylie was there?
I didn't go in the house at that time.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, I knew that whenever she was coming behind me, I knew that she was going to be there shortly. So what I did was I jumped on that little tractor. I knew I had a little bit of time, and I wanted to go up there and fill it up full of fuel, check, you know, do all that kind of stuff, get my fuel levels right, so that I didn't have to stop. You know, I've got, as you can tell when you look at that list, I got so much stuff to do. I don't have any unaccounted for time. I'm wide open.
Wow.
If I stop for a few minutes, I go
Airtight
backwards,
alibi.
and I don't have time to do that.
So just so you didn't go inside, so you don't know if she was there when you arrived.
I don't know if she was there. She was riding with Crystal. I do not know.
And when you got back from gassing up the tractor, they were all there. Her and Eli and Crystal.
All four, yes.
Yeah, okay. And so all four of you were there. So during that time, they the neighbor said she got home around 5:15, give or take. You know.
That's right.
So from 5:15, and I think I mentioned to you that I see on the video that you all go past Circle K. You go past the storage place and Circle K all within a minute or so, about 5 minutes after 7, thereabouts, give or take a minute.
All right.
So let's say you left the house around 7 o'clock. Fair enough.
That's fine.
There's going to be a little bit of time, but I'm just generalizing. So she gets home about 5:15. You get back from the store. You all are there from, let's say, 5:30 to 7 o'clock together, the four of you. You ate dinner at home, I think you told me last time.
Yeah, we didn't fix nothing. I don't know what we ate. We didn't fix nothing fancy.
Right. Sandwiches.
Whatever we
yeah.
did.
Yeah. You guys leave to go to the farm, but Kylie does not go with you.
That's correct.
She stays there waiting on
Her
Kathy.
Mamaw Kathy, her father's mother.
Yeah, Kathy Fenwick.
Yes.
Right. So she stays there. You don't know what time she gets picked up, but she's there when you all leave.
Yes.
Because that was one of the things, I think she got confused, Kylie, not Kathy. Kylie got confused about the time frames when I was talking
But
about
I can't speak on their.
Yeah, no,
I don't know
that's
that.
fine. With, I'm just trying to make sure I'm.
Hey, how do you think their vowels sounded like? You know? I bet you she said "I do," right? What did this guy say? Well, I mean, I would look at. I'd marry you
He's
if.
just horrendous.
Yeah.
He's awful.
Do you take
He's
this
awful.
this woman to be? And he probably went. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I'm here, right? I mean, you know, he probably wanted.
Why would you ask me that kind of question?
Yeah,
when
probably
that's why we showed up.
a 20-minute soliloquy right before he said, "But yes."
Yeah, if anybody
All right.
would marry.
Well, yeah, I guess he wasn't married, but yeah,
That's fine. What you said
that was a good move that she didn't get married to him.
is my understanding of it.
So you guys leave. You go. Presumably, you go out Bloomfield Road to Guthrie because you go past Circle K and not turning on Woodlawn Road. So you go out there, and then the next time I see you is when you pass Caddy Shack,
Yeah.
the little restaurant there on 49. You go past there, and it's about the right amount of time for you to be traveling, you know. And then you get to the farm around, best I can figure out by the time frame on the video, is about 19 minutes after 7. So you're actually there, you know, roughly about 7:20. So
Okay.
so you get there. By the way, I twisted I guess it would be your aunt's arm to. So we noticed they had the video cameras. That's why.
Yeah, that's fine. That's good.
So she actually helped you out with the time.
Good.
Because it showed you coming. Now I haven't watched the full days yet, so I don't know
All right.
anything about comings and goings. But I know you got there about 20 minutes after, and you left there about 11:55 thereabouts.
All right.
So during that time, from reading your statement, you left once and went down almost to Loretta Road and then turned around and came back because you decided the Tractor Supply might be closed, right?
Yes.
So that, a little bit of time there. How long were you at the farm before you went to get feed and then came back, decided that it was too late? Do you remember, roundabout?
It couldn't have been long.
Because you were going to feed the cows, right?
Yeah, it could have been probably more than,
Huh?
I don't know, 15 or...
He's a alleged farmer, some of the time, real estate guru part of the time. Any person, like when I had horses, you know what time Tractor Supply is open. You know exactly how much feed you have at all times. You don't want to get stuck without being able to feed your animals. So he's on his way to the farm on the date night, right? Doesn't check by the Tractor Supply, doesn't call up to see if the cows have feed or anything like that. Gets up there, leaves her there, drives back halfway, and then decides, oh, it's probably closed, and then drives back there again. He's just making up the craziest things to throw these people off, because none of that makes any sense for somebody who goes up and feeds cows for hours on end. You know exactly what you have at all times.
Yeah, not the greatest date night either,
No, it's not even a date night.
Yeah,
the whole thing. For me, it would be a date night. I would love to go feed cows for 4 hours.
Oh, God.
But
You're crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
20 minutes.
Okay. I'm just trying to get an idea so when I watch the video, I can kind of look for when you're coming out and then you're going back in.
Yes.
And when you got to the farm, do you know if anybody was there other than your mom?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you see your mom?
You mean
when
like
came
Nick?
in?
No, we didn't. We didn't stop up there. We went straight down there to...
See, that's a weird question. Do you remember seeing anybody else there? And he goes, I don't know.
Right.
No, you do know. You either saw somebody or you didn't see somebody. There isn't a I don't know. That's a question. You know what? The way you answered that, if I was watching, I would say he knows that he saw somebody there, and immediately he just said I don't know, instead of saying no or because he wasn't quick enough to say no. He knew that there was somebody there, and his brain immediately said I don't know. Meaning you do know, and you know exactly who it was, and you're not going to say now.
We were going there to feed the cows.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah, but the barn's within eyeshot of the house.
But sometimes she might park inside. Sometimes she might not. So I don't know if.
Right. She got more than one vehicle.
She's got a little red truck, and she's got a white, and then she's got a white SUV.
Oh, okay.
But I can't. That 15 to 20 minutes is as close as I can, and that's a guess. But I'd say it's pretty accurate.
She, I think your mom told me she had been mowing grass. Do you know if she was mowing when you got there, or
she's always outside doing something? She's more of an outside person than inside, but she likes to mow grass. Sometimes she'll mow it whenever it don't even need to be mowed. So. But no, I don't recall her mowing if she was mowing. But there's a lot of area there that if she was mowing, that I could have pulled in and not seen her. But I don't believe she was mowing.
Yeah. Okay. And it's not all that important. I'm just trying to get an idea of what was going on.
All right.
So there, I noticed when I was out there yesterday, I guess it was. So there's a bulldozer in the drive. Mm-hmm. There's a tractor, actually 2 tractors in the barn, right? There's a tractor with a bucket and a tractor that looked like maybe it was leaking hydraulic fluid. Maybe somebody
or an attachment,
maybe an attachment.
All right.
So while you were out there Friday, did you operate any of that equipment to take care of the cows, or how do you normally do something
I don't.
by hand?
Mm-hmm. No, when you feed the cows, you just get the sweet feed and you holler for them. You shake a bucket, and because repetitious. They know to run. They know.
I didn't know if you fed them hay.
Now, if you're talking about in the wintertime, you have to have a tractor that can handle. We don't do square hay. I mean, in the wintertime, we're going to have to handle a round bale,
right?
And that's done by tractor. We're not going to. You can roll one by hand. You got 4 or 5 guys, but I mean, we're not going to do that. We're going to take a tractor and.
Right, but I'm talking about Friday. You didn't operate anything.
No.
Okay. So you just fed them out of the bucket, the sweet feed, and.
Now, Aaron probably, he's out there raking hay and stuff. He might very well have done that. I don't know if it was Friday, but he's been out there the past 2 weeks doing hay. And I don't drive the equipment because that's not what I do. Aaron takes care of all that, and he bales the hay, he cuts it, he does all the mechanical work out there. And
Now, who is Aaron?
the person that does all the work out there.
But I mean, is he related to you all, or is he a farmhand, or what is he?
Yeah, he's the city mechanic right up here for the city of Bardstown, the bus garage. He does all the mechanics and does all the inspection reports for the city of Bardstown bus school system.
Right, but how is he connected to your family?
He's not at all.
There's no blood relation. We graduated together in high school.
You and he did?
Yes.
Okay, and so does he get the hay off of your farm, or?
5 of the cows out there that are out there are his.
Oh, okay.
So what he does is, whenever you look at this paperwork, I've got so much stuff going on, I'm not a farmer. I enjoy farming, but I don't farm. So what he does is an added benefit to me. He takes care of all the fencing, all the labor, keeps the equipment running. If it's round bales or busting ice and stuff like that in the wintertime, he does all that. He's got the time. He gets off early at 3 o'clock in the day. So he will come out there, and he knows about the mechanics. I'm not a mechanic, so he'll go out there and cut all the hay and prepare for the winter. Gotcha. He uses his time to do all that, to use the grounds out there for his cows, because he's only got about 7 acres here in town, and he wants to keep growing and expanding. And a way to do that, I don't have time to bush hog and all that, so I would rather keep up with the grounds by letting somebody do that and participate and let them. I don't charge him no money.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So
but he keeps his cows out
yes,
there.
it's a good trade-off.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay. But he wasn't there Friday. That you said.
No, he wasn't there Friday night.
When you were there. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Not before. I don't know about before, but when you were there, he wasn't there. So you all fed the cows with the bucket and watched them eat, and then you walked. Now, when you said you walked the road to the grab, you're talking about not just to the turnaround that goes right by the barn.
We walked to the back.
To where the old county road goes through.
Where I put yes, exactly.
Okay.
Where the road gets a little harder. I mean, you can still drive a car on it, but there's a little bit of grass in the middle. But we.
And that's what when you get to the
cul-de-sac at the top of the hill.
Right. If you get to the turnaround here, this
the house is right here in the barn
there. It goes
right here is where and it goes back there far. And there's 3 big pens back through there. There's 3 separate fields where we rotate the pasture and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. And you said you walked from field 1.
Yeah, let me just make it real clear for you. You can put this in your paperwork or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
I didn't write that, but.
No, I drew it out for somebody else.
The barn, and then of course the
so they had about 15 cows.
Kind of gives an angle off Mom's place.
And then
4.5 hours to feed 15
somewhere
cows.
right in here, this is a double.
I don't know. Is that what it's all about? He's saying 4.5 hours to feed 15 cows.
I mean, that's what they were doing. Now he's talking about they walked to the back of the land.
I think they're probably at this point maybe explaining. Wait, I didn't turn her phone off until. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So yeah, we walked over. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. See, she had her. Well, she didn't have her phone. Well, the phone ended up being in the car that was found, but it could have been that she still had her phone on her at a certain point, and he's trying to now explain how it might have pinged in a specific location
way back there
because they went on a walk, right? That's what he's trying to explain with that. And then they find the phone later. I want to know I wonder if the phone was on. I bet it was turned off when it was in that car. I would bet money because that would be, if it was turned off, then it's somebody. Because let me just say this: if you're driving in a car and you have your cell phone on, you're just gonna have your cell phone on because you're just driving somewhere, and then her car had a flat tire. Do you think she's gonna turn off the phone So that's a big deal. If that phone's turned off, then that
I
means
wonder
somebody.
if it was.
Yeah, so somebody would have turned the phone off before it got there, because you have a flat tire. The first thing you do is, call somebody, right? Hey, AAA or something,
Right.
So I bet you anything it was turned off or out of battery intentionally. I bet you the phone wasn't pinging on that parkway is what I'm saying.
Well, he's putting it
Yeah,
together.
this is where we go in right here.
Right.
Where we enter the field, because this is barbed wire, and then over here is kind of an octagon's 8, but it ain't 8. This is like a pin out here that we can move, and then there's some troughs and stuff in here. And then I think right here that field separates pretty, and then there's another gate right here.
Are you talking about
So this
property?
is number 1, and then way up here, this is number 2, and then number 3 goes a far piece back through there.
Right.
So we go through this gate, and then the gate from 2 to 3, the other gate's up here.
Right.
You know what I'm?
Yeah.
And then there's more food in field number 3 than there are on these other 2, because these 2 are 8 down close. So a lot of times, and it's cooler back there in them ravines and hollers for the cows than if they're on this flat land, and they would rather stay cooler and eat back there. And there ain't a big pond back there, but there's a little pond for them for a walk.
That's kind of weird. This is September 2014. So they must have built.
Telling them about a little pond back there.
But they should have. They built this entire house that we see in that picture that we use in the slideshow. It wasn't even there. See?
Yeah.
I mean, but that was. They must have built that in just less than a year. That whole thing, because this is September 2014, and that was July, right? It was July when this all happened. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so that looks like maybe that was just built in there. Okay, so, and they were mentioning a pond.
There's
one
pond
right
back
there.
there where the cows are trying to stay cool.
Maybe that's the pond right there.
Possibly.
And this, I don't see any. Well, there's a pond here, but that's not theirs. I think this is this road over here. This whole thing is probably their property, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's almost impossible.
There's
to
one
know
right here.
because they have 300 acres.
That could be it too, easily, right?
Yeah.
Back there, and they could stay cool in the trees. See? So
Could be, yeah.
this one's more open, where you wouldn't really stay cool anywhere, right? I mean, I don't know.
Who knows?
Get back
Lord.
to that.
Water supply too right now. So more often than not, they go back in that third field, but in later in the evening, a lot of times we're consistent at the times, but sometimes we're not. But a lot of times in the evening, they'll drift up here thinking they're going to get some feed.
Right. For the sweet feed. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So you all, when you all went for the cows, though, I think.
Yeah, we went in this gate right here, and then we walked all the way back
all the way
through there.
through. So because they weren't up in field 1.
Yeah.
Okay. So you fed the cows. What else did I read
But
there?
that's it.
Sorry. Sure. I'm doing all kinds of crazy stuff over there. You fed the cows, and then you come back out and you walk the road, right? The road that goes to
Yeah, after we come back out from walking up through here, then we walk out to here, there's another. Did I see your pen again? So there's another. It ain't exactly straight, but it looks something like this.
That's the driveway.
Yeah, this driveway to the barn,
Right.
and then we walk out the road and we just walk back through there.
Okay. And how long would you say that road goes back into there? Do you know? If you had to guess.
I don't know. I bet it's a good mile.
From
right
the
here.
barn to the end of that road and back. So a couple mile walk going to and from.
Yeah, if you go, because there's a cul-de-sac right here. There's also a cul-de-sac I put in up here, and then there's a third cul-de-sac at the very end, by a creek back there in the very back.
Oh, okay. Okay. But you think it's about a mile, maybe?
I would say
a little more,
close, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like 0.7.
So you walked to
3/4
the end of
mile.
there and came back. Did y'all do any work on the barn or anything while you were there?
No, we didn't do no work on that barn.
Didn't work on the driveway or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
The dozer, the reason I ask is because the dozer that's sitting there, did somebody use that to put that driveway in or put rock on that driveway recently? Or
No, on Saturday I moved it over there. It was parked. That dozer, I've got a skid steer also broke down.
Right.
I've got a skid steer right here with some weeds growing up around it,
Yeah.
and then I had a dozer. The dozer right here,
Mhm.
and I did. I backed it right across here, right here, and there's been a water. This water coming in the front. There's a big door right here in the front of the barn,
Mhm.
and water had been going in the front of it right here. And then I moved, and plus I wanted to.
Wish I
She's
knew the
always
barn.
complaining about my mother.
Mhm.
Is
I
always
wish I knew what the barn was. Like, what do you think it is on here? You think it's this building? Way over there, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
it looks
well,
more like a barn structure, sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little.
It has a paddock out there, yeah.
Yeah,
Could be barn.
yeah.
Then that long one kind of looks like maybe where horses are or something. I don't know if they had horses, but
complaining about the trash and rubble that she likes to keep everything neat and clean. She likes to keep the grass mowed short, but I'm not going to pay a high bill to take that stuff to the county dump when I can clean it up easy. It's too much to do all at once, but I can. Every time I come out there, I can throw a match on it or burn a little pile. Eli likes to roast marshmallows, so what I do, and we spend so much time out there, what I do is put a pile, and I'll light a little piece of it on fire,
Mhm.
and then that way I don't have a huge fire, but I've got enough that I'm constantly getting rid of some, and then they won't charge me that high density fee out there at the dump. So I'm going to take all this equipment, this skid steer too. I just hadn't drug it over there yet, and then all these trailers where the weeds are high, I'm going to try to get it on both sides of these doors, just to get it out of there.
Did you
But
burn anything Friday night when you were out there?
Yeah, yes, it's not uncomfortable. I don't want the stuff piling up to the moon. I always light a fire. There was a little pile, probably. I'll write that on there. Right here with this little pile here. I think y'all may have covered it up. Y'all got out there.
I think we did.
Slung stuff everywhere, but
Yeah, I apologize.
It don't matter.
Well, the dog, that lady's dog, she said acted like there was something under there.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. So I had a water problem right there, and I'm in the process of getting that right there fixed. We dug out right there in front of that door to try to let a vein of water come out because it's too low. The slab is.
And that was Saturday?
That was Saturday when I did that.
Do you remember what time Saturday you got out there?
Mm-mm.
Was you before lunch, after lunch?
Oh yeah, it was well before lunch. It wasn't. It was morning time, but it wasn't early morning. It wasn't late morning. It was about mid morning.
So you had a little fire. When was that? After you took your walk or before you took your walk?
I lit it. I don't know if I lit it right before we took off walking. I know we fed the cows first because I want to do that as quickly while we had still plenty of daylight. I don't know if I lit the fire before we walked back here or right when I got back. I could have done it either one. I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. So you lit the fire. I'm assuming then you probably don't leave until the fire burns out.
Well,
would you leave it burning? I don't know. I generally don't like to walk away.
Yeah, but if it's just a bed of coals,
Oh,
then it's
yeah,
not.
I mean, it's not like burning.
I wouldn't leave if I thought there was any danger. Not when especially when I got all this equipment and bar and stuff there. But I mean, if it's died down and it's just a big bed of coals, I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, I wonder who made the phone call for the babysitter. I was thinking, was it him that set up the babysitter? And then maybe Crystal wasn't even alive at the house, and he drove her in the car, all the way out to the farm. I mean, something like that.
No, he says in one part that Kylie, who's Crystal's daughter, was waiting at the house for Mama, who is Crystal's father's mother or something. Mm-hmm. So Kylie was still at the home waiting when they left, allegedly.
Oh, waiting to be picked up by the babysitter?
To be picked up, I guess that's who was babysitting the Mama.
Oh, so she does see them leave, okay.
I guess so.
Especially if it's not in August or September when everything's just perfectly dry. It wasn't.
Had plenty of rain.
Yeah, and the ground's wet and dew's on. Yeah, it's not a big deal. To me, I'm not a firefighter, so.
But you definitely moved the dozer on Saturday.
Yeah, I moved the dozer on Saturday.
Is there a septic system with that barn?
There is. Okay. It's never been hooked up. There's never been a toilet put on there. But I tell you who put it in there, and he can tell you exactly how 100% it was done. It's Casey Ballard.
Casey Ballard did.
Mm-hmm.
And Casey Ballard, is that her?
That's her brother.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah. So he put the septic. Is there like an opening somewhere where you can access it?
Oh yeah.
Maintenance and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Where would that be at?
There's a big pole out in the middle of this in field number 1 right here.
Uh-huh.
There's a great big pole like this right here.
Uh-huh.
That marks the end of it. It's got one big lateral, big pipe
Thank
on
you,
it, and it's
Alfred.
marked out there so somebody don't crush it with a tractor.
So the opening for the top of the septic tank?
No, the top,
You're talking about the lateral line?
Yeah, that just daylights out.
Right.
There's a big, underneath that, right where this fence is right there,
Uh-huh.
there's a big round lid right here.
Okay. Next to fence for field 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And how long has that septic system been there? I noticed the work
Probably about
kind of ongoing.
Probably about 3 years,
3 years.
3 years. I just never did finish that barn, because I've had so much other stuff going on. But in that barn, I've kind of got a little.
Yeah, I saw where you were putting the cedar plant.
I never got done with it, but I'm close to getting it done. I just.
Jeanette said I'm so quiet. Well, we're listening to an interview here, and I'm interjecting here and there. I don't know. What do you want me to be talking over the entire time that we're playing the interview?
Never made it that far.
Right.
But yeah, right where that little plumbing, that little bathroom is, right on the outside of the barn, there's a big a septic tank right there, and then there's a great big long piece of pipe right here, a bleeder valve, and then it's marked by, there's a big pipe, there's an iron T-post out in the middle of this field, and then I took a piece of PVC pipe that's weather
great,
resistant, and I just slid over top. It would stop the post from rusting, and it's also much taller than the grass, so that if the grass did get up real high, somebody wouldn't hit it with a bush hog, or wouldn't hit it with a mower or something like that.
Man, this guy should teach a class on farming.
All right, so you guys you've taken your walk. The fire is down, maybe not out, but it's down enough, and you're leaving. And it looks, again, looking at the video, looks like it's about 5 minutes till midnight.
All right.
That's to me, and I've got a couple of kids, but everybody parents a little differently. To me, it seems a little late to be out on the farm with a 2.5-year-old. Where is he at
I'm
midnight?
so mean.
Has he been asleep in the car for a while?
Sorry.
Is he still
No, he's still wide open, and
Really?
any night he's so used to sleeping so later in the morning. His normal day, that's his 7, 8 o'clock in the evening.
Really?
11, because she sleeps much later in the morning. She stays up So like, yeah, and it's always been that way.
So
And
he's
like
good to
people
go
do,
at midnight.
He's wide open.
Yeah, okay. So you guys get back and load up in the truck. Load up in the truck and you drive back. You leave out. I see you leave out the driveway at about 11:55. Somebody passes you on the drive back on Loretta Road about 10 minutes after midnight or so. He says roughly. We're still kind of narrowing that down, but roughly sees you about 10 after midnight, which wouldn't be uncommon. It's been raining most of the day. You know, the roads are kind of wet. 15 minutes from your mom's house to the golf course. There's Caddyshack. Not a big deal there. And so do you remember, or did you go straight home on Friday night, or did y'all stop somewhere? Or because I'm thinking if that's their normal 7, 8 o'clock in the evening, it might be dinner time. Did you stop and eat something, or did you go straight home?
We did not eat anything. I went straight home.
Okay, so you went straight home. So if we assume that he's correct in about 10 minutes after midnight, another 10 minutes to the house or so. So you
Yeah, I don't see it being that late. I mean, if that's what some of the things say, you know, I guess you'd have to kind of go by that. But yeah, we didn't stop anywhere. We went straight home.
Okay. So you could feasibly be home by 11:30. You could be home.
I still like it.
Which is what you told me. You thought, or I'm sorry, not 11:30, 12:30. You could feasibly be home by 20 minutes after 12. If he passes you at 10 minutes after 12.
All right.
Which is a little off from what you originally told me, and you just said, I still think it's a little off, but we'll go with what the camera says as opposed to memory, because sometimes memory's not that great.
All right.
And I checked the time on her camera, and I'm allowing for about a 9-minute gap there between what my watch says and what her camera says.
All right.
So which puts you leaving there by 11:55, which, you know, again, 15 minutes to Caddyshack is not terribly bad in the rain. So it could have been that he passed you at 10 minutes after midnight, putting you home roughly 20 minutes after 12.
All right.
Fair enough?
Yes.
So you guys get home 20 minutes after 12, right there, thereabouts. I think you said you went to bed first. Do you remember about how long you were home before you went to bed?
I went to bed immediately.
So when you guys got in, you went and did your nightly routine.
Nobody does that.
You're going to bed. I think you told me that she stayed up, and Eli, did he stay up as well?
He was.
And where was she at when?
If there's any activity going on in the house, he doesn't want to go to bed.
Mhm.
If everybody turned the lights out and we just got in the bed, he's going to follow us in there and lay down with us. But if I go to bed and she stays up, he's not going to come in there to bed till all the lights are out and then she goes to bed. If I was doing something out there and she was in the bed, he's going to stay up with me until the lights are out, until I go in there. Do you see what I'm...
Sure.
Yeah. So that's what
So he's going to stay up with Mom. Right. So, and before you went to bed, or as any conversation, I know you told me that you all had a conversation Friday evening sometime about the kids. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you said you all talked about the kids Friday evening. Does that conversation bleed over to when you get home, or is that conversation done?
No, whenever I got home, I went to bed. I mean, it was relatively, quickly when I got in there.
Okay.
The conversation does not bleed over.
Okay. So you go to bed, she stays up. What's she doing?
She's just on her phone playing. I don't know what game, but she normally plays a game.
Right.
Some kind. She's got several of them on there, but I don't know which one.
Okay. So she's on her phone, messing around, doing whatever, and you go to bed. Do you know what time Eli came to bed, or she put him into bed?
I don't know.
Don't have any idea.
I normally go to bed earlier than that, so when I went to sleep, I'm a pretty heavy sleeper. I wouldn't have noticed, if he crawled in there,
So you said you're a pretty heavy sleeper. So your phone is getting phone calls. I can see it on your phone logs before 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. Do you hear that going off? Do you normally keep it in there?
Yeah, but I don't have to. At that time, I've got an alarms on my phone.
That was somebody up there caught Amy up there. Amy J said, he said, if I lit the fire before we went walking, he doesn't remember or something, went walking or before I got back.
He did.
So
He said, yeah, I don't know if I lit the fire before we went walking or when I got back. Not before we got back, before I got back.
Yeah.
He did say that. Slip of the tongue there.
Perhaps.
At 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Sometimes I've got them at 4 and at 7. But my alarm most mornings goes off. I always have it for 6 and 7. But I'll wake up before my alarm goes off. But yeah, it's not uncommon for me to get calls really early in the morning.
So what time do you think you got up on Saturday morning?
I probably woke up around, in between that time, like 6 or 7 o'clock, and then I left. I did my normal thing, changed my clothes, put my clothes on, and headed out. Shortly after that,
Well, I'm sorry, I forgot to ask you something. There, on the phone records, there appears to be a phone call around midnight.
All right.
On Friday night, Saturday morning.
All right.
I'm talking about on your way home, basically.
All right.
Do you know who that person was that called you around midnight? Do you remember taking a phone call?
Can you just call the number back? I don't.
I mean, I could. I could.
What's
I
your phone number?
Phone
Yeah, look at my phone, but I don't remember.
You don't remember getting a phone call on the way home?
Mm-hmm.
Would it be unusual for you to get a phone call at midnight? I mean, it is for me, and I work for the sheriff's office. I get calls quite regularly.
Some of the people that do the tile for me, I wouldn't put it past them to call me at any time. They lay brick through the day and then they're tile my.
Yeah, there's no way in hell, like, if they get home at midnight, that Crystal would let Eli just kind of run around and play, See, all it is he got home at midnight. He went to sleep at some point. We don't even know what time that was. And he got a call, obviously at midnight. And that's because they're not there anymore, It's
tile layers always call you at midnight after working all day. They think, oh wait, this is the most important thing.
Yeah.
Let me call and wake up the guy who runs the job at midnight for a stupid ass question about tiles.
Didn't he get charged with something like lying?
Oh, he did. He's in the presentation. You'll see his crazy self.
Yeah.
He got charged with lots of things. but keep this part in mind. Anybody who's going to come back for the other parts, keep in mind what he's telling you right now about why this guy called him, because it's important later.
Houses at night, the Thomases I wrote on there, Derek and his brother Tyler Thomas, they'll call me at any time. I've got even if it's just one day, I don't pay them people by the job. They got to get paid by the hour, and then when they get done with it, I pay them.
Right.
That's just what we've agreed on. But yeah, those folks there call me any hour.
It was a pretty short phone conversation. Is the only reason I asked.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of unusual to get a 13-second phone conversation at midnight. It is for me. It may not be for you. But,
all right. Well, just check it out. Yeah, check it out in detail. That's right.
So Saturday morning, you wake up sometime between 6 and 7. I think we decided that Danny Singleton, is that his name?
Mm-hmm.
A guy that works for you, was calling you. He called you pretty frequently. You said sometimes you give him an incentive to work on Saturdays, and that may have been why he was calling you. So did you go do some work Saturday morning before you went to your mom's house? Before you went to the farm? Or what did you do Saturday morning?
He's a little bit of a trouble right now. He's trying to think,
I didn't,
think through it. Yeah.
I didn't do any other work on Saturday morning. That's where I went out there to the farm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know exactly what time I got out there, but that's what I had done.
Mm-hmm. So
You're not going to remember why 4 days before why you went there at 6 in the
So
morning.
you get up between 6 and 7.
Oh, what a joke.
And where's Eli at when you wake up?
He's next to me.
He's in the bed with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you get up. Does he get up with you?
He's still asleep whenever I get up, but I go to the bathroom and all that kind of stuff, and he's still sleeping there on the bed.
Mm-hmm. And so when you wake up, he's there, but Crystal's not.
She's not.
Okay. And so did you try to call her or?
Yes, I noticed that she wasn't there, and I didn't know what was I didn't know exactly what to think. I don't know what time I called her. Yes, I called her that morning.
I mean, did you call her before you left the house to go to the
I don't
farm?
remember what time I don't remember what time I called her.
But do you remember where you were at? Were you at home or were you at the farm? Or you were on the way to the farm? I don't know, somewhere in between.
I don't recall. I don't know.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, what a
So
shit.
you,
Complete crap.
before you go to the farm, you feed Eli breakfast?
I just want to punch him.
I did not before we got there. I normally get those squeezable yogurts, got all them vitamins and minerals and stuff in it, and he likes to eat stuff like that for breakfast. And it's easy; he can do that in his car seat or whatever he's got to do.
So you think he was eating on the way to the farm?
I don't think he was. I know he was.
Okay.
Now, how much of the yogurt he ate, I don't know.
I'm not worried about that. It's not a question of what he ate or how much he ate. I'm just trying to
Well,
establish
he's a healthy boy. I can
pattern
tell you.
of behavior from that weekend. You know, and here's why. And I'll be honest with you. I have been all along. Will continue to be. If I woke up on a Saturday morning and my wife wasn't with me in the bed, as is normal, which might not be normal for you, I don't know, but for me, it would be normal, particularly if my wife's a late sleeper, which mine is as well on Saturdays, for her to be there in the bed when I get up. So if she were not, probably the first thing I would do would be to call her to find out where she was.
But what you're not aware, what you're missing is a lot of times that her and Brooke, her sister, or Sabrina, a lot of these girls that they do all these, they go out and do stuff. Sometimes they do these, and this is going to be embarrassing for me to talk to you about, but I'm wanting to get everything cleared up as quickly as I can. They do these fantasy parties. All these girls get together. They talk about and do whatever, and it's not uncommon for them, when they go out and party, they stay out the better part of the night, if not the whole night. So, and of course, I always have the children, you know, during that. They don't take the kids to that. Matter of fact, I take care of some of their other children while they're the ones going. It's not uncommon because they know I don't get into all that stuff, and they know that I'm a man, don't get me wrong. Understand that, a white-blooded American male, and there's no sense, I'm not telling you anything different, but they
White-blooded? He sounds like a racist now. Like he, you know.
He's a white-blooded American male, and he's not going to tell you anything different now.
What an idiot.
Okay, but it's embarrassing for you to say fantasy party.
Yeah.
And does your girlfriend Crystal often get up in the middle of the night because somebody's having a fantasy party and leave her baby at home while you're asleep in the bed? She's just like, oh, fantasy party's happening at 2 a.m., gotta go.
And then her car heading out of town to continue the fantasy party, then gets a flat tire and a serial killer picked her up. You want us to believe all that?
Bigfoot came running out of the woods and come on, please, Brooks.
do all these
It gets worse.
parties and order all this stuff. Well, who gets the kids? I'm good enough to get the kids for all this, and I'm a good enough person to do that. And then when everybody sees a little bit of distress, they're going to throw me under the bus. You know, they need to re-examine all these other actions, how, you know, and I can understand the family wanting to vent and stress, and it makes perfect sense to me. But these people know me better than what's going on, and before this is all over and done with, you all are too. But it bothers me because not only have I been a victim, I can't even, my mind's not even where it should be, because I'm trying to protect Eli from this.
What about your other kids? What about your other
kids? He's the most important person that I'm trying to protect. I don't care about them dragging my name through the mud right now, because I want to keep the main focus and emphasis on bringing her back safely and as quickly as possible. But it really bothers me what's being done in the method that everybody's pursuing and doing, because what's going to happen is I don't want their apology, I don't want nothing from them, but then after this is all said and done, they're going to sweep it under the rug, and then they're just going to forget about what they've done to me in the process. What I've got to be faced with now is, as good a mother as Crystal's been, now nobody's going to love you like a mother. Now, Eli is in an atmosphere where I've got all the hope in the world, but now I'm a single parent, it appears to me, where she's been there 100% of the time for him to raise and rear him, where I know that he didn't have to go to a daycare or a babysitter, and I know that his mother's going to take care of him. And now, where am I at without that love and support from her? Mm-hmm. Now I've got a little boy who's 2, who's going to grow up his life. If something's not done, where she's not brought back safely, now one of the very most important people in his life, he's got to grow up without. Right. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I'm in here answering a bunch of bullshit that I'm doing the best that I can possibly do with, but it's taken a lot of energy and effort away from the other efforts that could be out there trying to help and bring her back here safely. I can't even go out on the side of the road without looking like a murderer or something like that. It's wrong. I've been extremely honest with you all, and now I'm up here doing all. They can have the house, y'all take anything that you want. You don't need any of that paperwork or search warrants. And now I'm up here.
I don't know about you, but I feel like he has nothing to do with it now. Just on that last part, I just. Jeez,
did he convince you? Now you're just like, why are we even doing this?
Yeah, I'm not fickle. I'm not fickle. I can just. Oh wow! Because he said he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, had nothing to do with it. He's up here answering all this garbage.
Trying to get my head where I can be on the side of being able to protect myself and defend myself for my son whenever I'm the one that's, I feel like, has the largest loss. Yeah. So, well, do what you got to do. I'll do whatever I can, but this is starting to get silly. I don't need an attorney. I haven't asked for an attorney. I don't need none of that. I'm innocent. I'm willing to talk to whoever. But this to me is really starting to get silly, because I feel like, I don't have a Facebook page. I don't have time to get on the internet. I don't know a lot about computers. Crystal did all that for me. I didn't have to do it because that's something else that she always took care of. So now I have people coming back to me telling me that they're completely trashing me online for the whole media. I've taken 17 years of my life, and I feel like I've worked hard to get a good education. I've worked hard all these years. I've built a nice life for me and my family, and now my whole family's name is trashed for something that's completely not even tied to me. That's where I'm at right now. So I'm extremely upset. I'm hurt over it. I try to put on a tough shell on the bubble and move forward. It's extremely difficult to get up in the morning and push on and look at Eli and know that here I've got a million things going on that I have to get done. And then who's going to suffer? He is. And it's not right. I'm ready to hire an auctioneer to sell all this stuff so I can be there for Crystal.
Well, maybe if you hadn't killed Crystal, you wouldn't be going through all this. Okay? Allegedly. Sorry, everybody. Allegedly.
What else do you want to know?
If the crying is real, it's remorse. Like he feels like he, I don't even know if this guy has remorse. Never mind. Forget it. I mean, I don't. He appears to be crying, but there's a YouTuber out there that's really good at the same kind of bullshit, fake crying stuff. So I don't know. I think some of these sociopaths can easily, pretend they're lying because they're always mimicking somebody.
It's fine to be upset. I understand. It's fine to be mad.
Psychopath.
I understand that too.
He's there asking for everybody. This is a shock to him.
It's okay to be upset by it. I understand. It's okay to be upset at her family. They're
yeah, but their emotions are so shot right now, and I can understand it. And I don't. If that's how they want to be in.
But you're allowed to be emotional too.
That's fine. What they're mad about is the darn cell phone that I took away from Ashley because her mother told for me to take it away from her. That's what they're mad about. And it's just been a spiral. since then in October, and ever since then, their attitude towards me and everything is so wrong. For punishing a 16-year-old girl when she's not hurt, she's not hit, nothing like that. And I'm the worst person in the world for having any, and I understand I'm not her dad, I'm not her disciplinary figure. If she disobeyed her mother, I followed a direct order from her mother. Her mother couldn't get it from her. I took her cell phone from her, and then it's just been hell ever since.
That was the whole thing about the wrist?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they took her up to the hospital and did the same with CPS and all this bunch of garbage.
Ah.
They ruled it unsubstantiated or however they.
Ah, weird. So that means he has a assault, like a abuse on one of Crystal's daughters. Wow. So it kind of shows, it shows that he has a violent tendency there. And well, yeah, everyone can see why it would go downhill, right? You violently attacked one of her daughters and hurt her wrist enough where she had to go to the hospital, and then CPS got involved. That's what you're admitting.
I wanted to say it, no bearing or whatever. When you pull the reports, they documented it all. You can get all that stuff too.
You want some water?
No, I'm good. Let's move forward. Whatever you need, I'm here to give to you.
Okay.
I'm innocent. I don't need an attorney, so I'm good. Ask whatever you want to ask.
Okay. Well, if we can just continue with the conversation, and I don't want to rush you. Take your time. I think we left off around about Saturday morning. So you guys got up, and she wasn't there. So you and Eli got ready.
Yeah, we know, Tim.
And went to the farm.
We're not to that
Did you go
point
anywhere
yet.
else before you went to the farm?
So here's the thing, everybody. We're right now we're discussing Crystal's case and the interrogation, and then we'll get to all the other parts later. So you don't need to jump in and tell everybody about the father and different various elements, okay? Because we're going to be going through the story, okay? All right, cool.
He didn't stop at McDonald's or nothing to get any kind of breakfast because he had that yogurt, that squeezable breakfast, whatever. I don't know, whatever. Someone's still in the refrigerator if you want one.
That's fine. So you went to the farm, and was your mom there Saturday? Do you remember?
I didn't stop at the house up there either that morning.
What do you do with Eli while you're working on the equipment? Is he in the equipment?
I'm usually not one that works on the equipment. Sometimes I might drive some of it, but yeah, if I get on that little tractor, he rides in my lap.
But I'm saying you said you worked on the driveway, on the drive in front of the barn there. So
Yeah, but no, he's got 5 or 6 tricycles and big wheels and stuff like that he plays on. It don't take a lot.
This isn't about your parenting skills. Don't misunderstand.
I understand. Yeah, but
I'm not asking you about that. But you're working on the dozer. Is Eli in the dozer with you, or is he out playing in the yard?
I'm not really working on the dozer. He's got 5 or 6 of them tricycles and big wheels things that are at the barn. And if he's not out there with the cows or something, he rides them little toys around. We got them down there in the barn. We got them out there in the driveway. It don't take a lot to entertain him. A lot of times he pedals or does whatever he does.
Sure. But how long would you think that it took you to fix that area you said was taking on water there in front of the barn with the dozer?
No, I don't know. A lot of times on Saturday, I just use that as a place to vent and get away from what I call the city, not just like Bardstown, the city, but all the city stuff that goes on, loud music and all.
Yeah, but he asked you how long it took to fix that little thing, not about you go there to vent sometimes. What does that have to do with anything?
And I thought he didn't fix any of the equipment or do any of that because he had a great deal with the other guy. Now he's out there fixing stuff too.
Yeah, he said he doesn't normally do it though, but
You hear crickets.
Yeah.
You don't hear a lot of people, so I'll go out there to a lot of times just to get away from the stress of all these tenants and stuff, calling these new construction
Right, but how long did it take you to fix it?
It's a kind of a little vacation away from home.
Right, but you told me earlier that on
Yeah,
Saturday
so get
you
back to
fixed the spot in front of the barn
Yeah.
where the water was going.
So how long did that
Yeah,
take?
if the water's not, if it's not been like raining a solid week or whatever, you can't really tell if it hits and misses. Sometimes if we get a substantial amount of rain, you can.
I mean, isn't that a weird thing that he deflected on that? See, that means there's something to that, because he just went, yeah, no, how long did it take you to fix that spot where the drainage there? Well, I usually just go there to get away from the city problems, and he goes on and on and on about that. But he was smart enough, the detective, to get back to that. But you kind of wonder, like, what in the hell?
But he goes right back to deflecting again.
Yeah,
As soon as he asks
really,
him the second time.
really strange.
Nothing is
tell
a
what
yes
the
or no
problems
answer.
are,
Yeah.
and I could tell. So that's just what I did. Just piddle, just nothing important, just piddle.
Right.
Yeah,
But
but you were there to fix it.
Would Eli normally be in the bulldozer with you while you're operating it? Was he in there with you while you were operating it?
He's drove it, not that more there he wasn't. But yeah, I mean, he has been in. He's drove the bulldozer before. He's drove all the tractors out there before.
2.5. How would you?
So that morning, did you say Mom was or wasn't home? You don't know?
I don't remember.
You don't know. Okay. So you don't know that she did. He was out riding on his tricycles or whatever. When you said in the driveway, you mean the driveway for the house or the driveway that you're working on?
Say it again now.
You said you were working on the driveway in front of the barn with the dozer, right?
Yeah, we're down there by.
And you said he was probably riding on tricycles or something.
Yeah, I'm sure he was running on the concrete slab. It's easier for him to pedal on the slab than it is.
Every time this guy says he doesn't remember, he does remember, right?
Absolutely, he does.
Yeah, but see, I think you can use that whenever he says, I don't remember. That means he remembers. He's just not going to tell you, because this is only 4 days later, and everybody knows, like, when you go, like, let's say every time you leave the house and your husband's home, you're going to be able to say, oh yeah, he was in the house and I went to the grocery store. You know exactly where everybody is at all the times, and you have Crystal and a 2.5-year-old and him. He's going to know where she is, right?
Absolutely.
But he says he doesn't remember. So we only got
anything.
We got 4 minutes left to get to the hour, and then we can save the other 44, right? But don't you think that's just you can?
I think that all you can take of Brooks Houck is about an hour at a time.
Yeah.
It's far too much. And then there's so much to break down in your mind, because he's a person who talks and you don't remember a word that he says, because he just babbles. He talks in circles. There's nothing that you can take away from this interview with you.
And when there's a point that matters, he'll say, I don't remember, every time. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, how do you not remember? Some of the stuff he can't remember is unbelievable.
Is outside there, and I can see him better. My visibility's better if he's in there than out here.
Right. So he was here by the barn and not over by the house in the driveway.
No, he wasn't by the house.
Gotcha. Okay. So you guys finish up whatever you're
maybe
gonna do.
later that day or something. He might have went over there. The chickens might have come down there. He might have done something with them. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not uncommon for him to. The chickens out there, they can be fast, but they're not scared of people because he plays with them so much. But you can catch them pretty easy. I mean, he treats them like a cat.
Mm-hmm. So you guys, any idea how long you were?
I like how the detective doesn't do what he wants him to do and go, oh, really, like a cat? So is he playing? Like he thinks he's going to start this new conversation and throw him off track, but he's just like... Yeah, so anyways, back to now you were trying to fix the, it's pretty, he is doing a good job on that.
Asking you any of this, really.
Out there? Saturday?
It was a good, usually on Saturday I'm not in any kind of a rush because I try to take, I usually try to take it easy on Saturday.
Okay. So did you eat lunch out there?
I don't remember. How the hell do you not remember something 4 days before?
I don't know if I ate lunch there. I know I ate supper out there at Fabian's house that night because he had everybody over there at his house for, there's about, I don't know, maybe 150 people over there at my mom's brother's house. We went out there for a short while. It wasn't real long.
And keep in mind, he's talking about Saturday,
Eli ate there.
which was the 5th.
I don't know what
Yeah,
we
it's just
did
3
like, I
days
can't
before.
remember.
He knows all this stuff.
Did you go?
Because it would
from
be in
the
his
farm
mind that she was
to
missing, and he'd
Fabian's,
remember the whole
or-
day.
I don't know if I took I may have went home and taken a shower.
I think it's a
from
shit.
being out there on the farm. You know, I don't want to go there smelling like a bunch of cows.
Sure.
I may have went home. I'm not sure. I don't know. I may have went home and took a shower, and then came back.
Why would
That's
he take
more
a
likely
shower?
what I did,
Weird.
but I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't think he.
So then you,
How's he
sometime
not
Saturday
remember?
evening, you went over to Fabian's house. Do you remember around about what time that was? That would have been 4th of July.
Yeah, that's when we were supposed to go to that.
Did you all stay out there for fireworks, or?
We didn't stay that late. I know that there was a bunch of people there that I hadn't seen in a good while. That my mom's got a pretty large family that I hadn't seen that I wanted to see them, but we didn't stay out there real late.
That was the 4th, right?
Do you any idea how many times you've called Crystal at this point?
No, not the
By the
4th.
time you went from
Yeah,
getting up Saturday morning until you were going to the family
I know
gathering at
I know I
Fabian's?
called her back around maybe noon again the second time, and I don't know what the exact time I called her after that, but I know that sometimes in the past, if I've called her and blow her phone up, it made it worse.
Mhm.
So sometimes I've just called.
So the 4th was Friday. What day was the 4th? That was Friday, right? And then are you frozen? Hello? Are you still there? I can't tell if are we still doing this or
Periodically,
is chasing in a statue mode or what?
and I found that too. She doesn't take as much offense to that. You know, if you're just disrespectful to them, especially if somebody's mad, it just makes it worse. To
Right.
keep calling them. I wasn't even alarmed. I was for sure the girls were doing this to me on
No,
purpose.
Saturday was the 4th. Okay.
Brooke and Sabrina and them.
So while you're at the family gathering at Fabian's house, anybody ask you where Crystal was?
She hadn't went out there to Fabian's house a whole lot. Some of them people knew her, some of them people out there wouldn't have known her, but right then I don't
Not
remember.
really a big deal for them.
No, and it's something that those people there we see once every, sometimes every few years. So a lot of them people really hadn't. Some of them have seen her, and a lot of them have not seen her.
Mhm.
You know, haven't met her.
Sure.
So like I
So
said, it was a substantial amount of people.
you're out there. You said did you say you didn't stay for fireworks?
No, we didn't stay that
So
late.
you and Eli leave before dark,
Mhm.
because that's usually when people set off fireworks on 4th of July.
I don't
and
see-
You go home. You go to somebody else's house.
And that was on Saturday.
Yep, that was Saturday. You go to mom's. Where do you go after you leave there?
See, he's thinking about what he should say. That's the weird part about it. Everybody just knows. Look how long he waits on some of these. It's embarrassing. Like,
No, I think we rode with my mother
sure.
over there.
To Fabian's house.
hmm Yeah, we rode with her, and then I.
are you coming back on chasing? Because she's not even in Zoom anymore over here.
So you rode back to mom's house with her, and then you didn't stay at mom's. You went back to your house.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know the exact timing and all that right there, but I do know that I rode with her over there to Fabian's house.
Okay. And you left her house and went home.
I don't know if I stayed there any period of time or not. I may have stayed there just a little bit. I don't think very much, but I might have stayed there a little bit. I'm not sure.
I mean, you didn't stay the night there.
No.
Did you go anywhere?
Well, anyways, let me go. I'll just do it at hour and 2 minutes. Okay, that's how far we got into it. All right, I don't know where it happened. Looks like Chasing's computer went nuts, and apparently she's still in the. Probably she can be in the chat on her phone or something. But yeah, well, hope you guys found that interesting. I mean, this guy, you can tell he's trying to be evasive and deflecting the whole time in this interview. I mean, I'm sure some of the stuff he's saying is true when it's just something really mundane that he's using to fill in all the time. So, you have, Crystal went missing, and then her car was found with the phone, purse, and key in the ignition. She's missing. Tire was flat. I think that's all just a staged event. Kind of dumb, actually, because it doesn't fit the narrative that he's trying to sell. He's trying to sell that she took off and was going to take off, and we don't know where she went. Here's the thing: is Brooks Houck should have been a lot more concerned and invested in looking for her once it was determined that she had a flat tire and her car was on the side of the road, unless he's involved in it. See, he didn't think through that. They didn't think through that part very well. Because his story is that she just left. She was angry and she took off and she's somewhere out there. You see what I'm saying? And she's somewhere out there alive. Oh, you can't get into Zoom? Okay. Huh. Well, it's not locked. Yeah, the meeting's not locked. I don't know what's going on. All right. Well, hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying. I think that the car being parked with a flat tire, key in the ignition, her person, they're making it look like, they were trying to make it look like that she had a flat tire and was sitting in her car, then somebody came by and abducted her. Right? But that's not what his story is. His story, he's trying to make her look like a crappy mother who went out gallivanting around and just took off, and that's not what happened at all. So once he learned that she had a flat tire, man, he should have been really concerned for the mother of his child, but he wasn't at all. Anyways, next time we'll be playing part 2, the remaining part of this, which is another 42 minutes, and then continue on with the slideshow, and then we'll get on to Tommy Ballard and his murder as well. All right, so that's it. And for chasing out there, good seeing you on here. I'll give you a call here in a minute. And I guess I would always say, be safe out there. And she says, I love you so much. Whatever the hell it is. All right. We'll see you guys later. And on that note, there we go. Bye-bye. And notice how there's no talking this time. Oh, wait, I just talked.